minutes?
I would move to approve the minutes as amended.
Bob, motion, second. John?
Yep.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great. So we have, well, let's see if we can figure out how to do this. A little education from Nick tonight, right? Nick, were you planning on doing that live?
Yep. I was just gonna walk people through on the Give STL day. It'll be real quick.
Okay, let me see if I can give you permission here.
Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. So yeah, for folks that are unaware, Give STL Day is coming up, and it's a really big opportunity. I know we're all, I think, we've worked with this program in the past. As you can see, it's May 6th. That's like when the actual day of donations start, but there's early giving, so I'm going to encourage everyone to make their accounts as soon as possible. And I'm going to walk you through now on how to make those accounts, and if you have, Facebook or what have you, you can share these accounts on your Facebook so people can donate and learn more about CUP and all those sorts of good things. So first things first, you're going to go to givestlday.org. And in the search bar here, you'll just type in CUP. And it should come right up. And let me know if there's any technical difficulties or any questions or anything like that. And you'll see here, there's a learn more. I'm gonna go ahead and, it looks a little overwhelming. I remember when I first clicked this, I was like, what in the heck am I supposed to do with all this stuff? But you'll just scroll down. This is a really nice page that I believe Jen made up. And this is the sort of homepage for the organization. But what's unique about this website is that you can have your own individual page that you can customize and share with friends, family, all that sorts of stuff. So when you come here, you're going to scroll down a little bit, and a big plus sign here is what you want to click on to take you to your own individual page. And this is sort of, comparable to your Facebook page or, homepage or anything like that. It's like your own personal website. And it gives you some opportunity to sort of customize it. One thing I do suggest, up here in the top left, you can see your fundraising title. So this is going to be the title for the page that you have. And I would suggest just, putting your first and last name, just so that people know, who you are, and people can easily find your page if, you don't have the link or what have you. So, and that'll pop up right there, you can see. Your goal, you can set anything you think is appropriate. I made mine at, I think I had 250, just because, us students, it's hard to come by, people are pretty tight with their money nowadays, but I think, between friends and family, all that sort of stuff, I think this is a good goal for me. And lastly, this is the sort of most important part here, is you can tell your little personal story here underneath fundraiser story. And this will come up right here. So I can say, I am a Wash U student, and I love sitting on the board. Oh, if I could spell. And you can see here that it comes up right here. So, you can give a few quick sentences. Additionally, there's a little descriptor for what CUP is, and this will show up on every page. So maybe you can be brief or as long-winded as you'd like. And now you have your page all set up, and all you got to do is click Save and Publish here at the bottom. And it's going to prompt you to log in. You probably don't have an account. At least I didn't. I don't think anyone does, because I think this is a first this year online. So what you're going to need to do is hit sign up here at the bottom. And you should be taken to a page like this. And this will give you, your typical account creation, all that sort of stuff. And additionally, I recorded a video, and I think there's a link somewhere, and I can email it to folks who aren't here, or they're not able to make an account right away or anything like that. So don't worry if there's any issues or anything like that. So after you do this, you'll hit sign up. It won't let me, obviously, because I have a page already, so it's not going to let me because I have an account. But after that, you should be able to publish your page and share it. And the sharing is the most important option because that's how you really get people engaged. So I really strongly encourage people after they make their page to share it to their Facebooks and email it to people that you think would donate. That's, I think, the most important, that final step to getting on social media and to grow our presence, especially with younger people, to get involved with CUP. I think there's a really big push, and something I'm working on in a lot is getting college-age students involved in CUP and other sort of nonprofit work. So anything you can think of in terms of your posts, you can add photos of yourself in the comments and all the good stuff you all done over the years at CUP. So that's your little tutorial on how to make a Give STL page. If there's any questions, I'm happy to take them. But I don't want to keep anyone up in the meeting.
I don't know if this is for Jen or Nick, but you can only donate the 5th and 6th, right? Like it won't you can't start early, or can you start early? You
can in fact start early. Early donations, I believe, have started.
Oh.
Yes.
So if you didn't want to do it on Facebook, you could send it out via email.
Yeah.
I assume.
You can do email, and they give you a link as well when you sign up, and you can copy that email. You could send it via text. You could do whatever you need to do. However, one thing that Sarah mentioned to me, that it's important to remember that while we obviously will take any checks or cash or outside donations to CUP, how this program works and how the reward system, there's certain brackets that we can get into that'll double our money, or we'll match this, or something like that. All those donations, the only things that count is when they're through the website. So it's really important to really drive people, even though it might be sort of a hassle for some, or maybe making an account or what have you. Really encourage people to make those accounts and donate via the website, because it'll really improve our earnings, because when you get those matching goals, you can double your money just for nothing, really. So really strongly encourage people to do that.
Perfect. Thanks, Nick. Anybody else have any questions?
I just have a quick comment about it, if I may. So as Nick mentioned, the St. Louis Community Foundation and their sponsors have some certain incentives that go along with each hour, or prizes that a nonprofit could earn by, like Nick said, giving within certain time frames. But we did have some good fortune last year. I want to say it was either Lynn or Becca, who had someone that didn't feel comfortable giving, online, but sent in a check. And by all means, by all means, we'll gladly receive that. But as far as working within the platform and getting in on the possibilities, it is helpful to have it go through online. And I think I might have been Diane, or someone's asked me this before too. If I usually give, via check, or, in another way, should I continue to do that, or give in this way? And again, I would say, by all means, do what you're comfortable with, or what you'd like to do. This is a really great way to build awareness for the organization as well, and hopefully get new donors in.
So yeah, one of the things that we just wanted to talk about too is the expectation of board participation in Give STL Day. So I know some of our colleagues are unable to fundraise with their name and that kind of thing. So we understand that piece. But one of the things that's really great about Give STL Day is, and our opportunity to be a part of it, is to educate people about CUP and your connection to CUP. You don't have to necessarily ask for the money if you don't want to. It's just a really great way to make sure that we as board members are doing our part to, Jen, I love that cat. Are doing our part in, in promoting CUP and everything that we're doing. So, if you're not comfortable with the direct ask for the fundraising, at least, try and post something about your connection to CUP on Give STL Day, or, if you want to do it kind of more in the background, feel free to do that as well.
And we'll have several social media posts on the CUP page all throughout the day, sharing videos, client stories, quotes, testimonials. And so, even that is appreciated, to visit the page a few times and send out a share to, again, raise awareness and hopefully, funds as well. But awareness is very important as well.
Jen, as the list of the hours that will double our donation listed on the STL page, or will you be sending out something that shows when the best time might be to log in?
I don't know, Nick, if you've seen that. Sarah, our Vista, has been working on that, but I know they if you kind of follow along with them, they have these power hours and things that they announce throughout the day. So that's a good question. I can see if it's available in advance or not.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And what is the rate going to be this year that they will take for hosting the STL Day?
So it's they build in with every donation. They have a place to click to ask the donor if they'd like to cover the administrative cost of processing. So that's available, and it's nothing really serious. It's not, it's like it's kind of like the concept of, it costs money to make money kind of thing. It's like a convenience fee that we deal with when we have our online giving through the website and all of that. So it's nothing more than, than anything else. It's really a nominal.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Diane, to answer your question about the times, I found in an email a link that Sarah sent me. But the first nonprofit, so it works on like a midnight and noon basis. So it's in the like the first donation and the last donation in that sort of day timeline gets a $500 cash prize. So if you're sitting at your computer at 11:59 and you're refreshing and you're the first person to donate, then you'll earn CUP $500. So no expectation, but if anyone's having a late night, they can't sleep for some reason, check out the website, I guess.
Nick, that's just like your time frame, your time bracket.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. And then Diane, do you want to talk at all about the opportunities that you had sent me to send out to everyone?
Yes, thank you. Just briefly, thank you so much. On Becca's agenda email, there are 2 opportunities presented by Eastside Aligned, which is our community collective impact movement that CUP is very much committed to. Unfortunately, the first one, which would share about community need during the pandemic, has been postponed, so just ignore that one. The second one is an ongoing, once a month training session on racial equity. So I would just ask you if you want to look that over. You could just sign up if you're interested in any of those sessions, and then it's open for attending all of them virtually or just picking and choosing ones that you might be interested in. But it would be on racial equity and truth and transformation as training for those of us in the community. So thank you.
Awesome.
And all of the registration stuff is listed there on Becca's email.
Perfect. Okay, we want to go to department reports, and it looks like we're going to start with out of school time in Griffin Center.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm using my cell phone, so hopefully I don't look too distorted. Okay, I'm going to start with programming. When the school district resumed programming I shouldn't say programming, in-person learning in March, that's when our attendance in the virtual learning support that we were offering during the day we expected it to go down, and that's when it did reduce the number of children attending. So we closed the Shields and we closed Griffin in early April due to those children returning to school. So we now offer that virtual learning support during the day at 2 centers, and that's at Forest Village and Orr Weathers. The after school program is going well. We're averaging about 10 children per center daily. So we're pleased with that. We are looking at expanding our program, our after school program services to the Phoenix Court Public Housing Development. So we've started making plans for that. We have talked with the manager of Phoenix Courts and have seen that site, that center. And also I've spoken with the executive director of the East St. Louis Public Housing Authority, and she said that she's fine with it if we can get enough residents. So we had planned on getting her permission to survey the residents. They gave us a list of the units, the apartments that have children. So we're in the process of surveying the residents. Some of the children might attend other after-school programs, but we thought that this might be a good time. I think we tried before, but we didn't get enough interest. But this might be a good time to do that, since some of the after-school programs might have paused their programming. So we're looking forward to that, and pray that we're able to do that, so we can help more children and their families. Professional development, I'd like to share that with you. We, as you know, we do trauma-informed care training with our staff, and we had a wellness training and goal setting. Our staff have to set goals for their one-on-one evaluation meetings, so we thought that might be helpful for them. And the presenter talked about exercise and nutrition, and they also received wellness journals. And the staff appreciated that, because we always talk about the children and their well-being, but it let them know that we care about them as well, because they need to be well in order to do well, be good for our children. We also had a 2-hour virtual trauma training, and both of the trainings were virtual. And it was on racial trauma and suicide on Black youth. And it was very interesting and engaging. She gave a strategy. She didn't just talk about the problem. So something appeared on my screen, so I don't know what to do. Can you see me?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so I'll just ignore that. And we also invited staff from CUP, other programs in CUP, to attend. So we're looking forward to a second training as well. So I'll tell you about that later. So, are there any questions?
Henrietta, I saw a headline that said something about extending East St. Louis school year or into the summer. Have you given any consideration on what that means for Griffin?
We have. We are going to extend our programming, and thanks for asking that. We're going to extend our programming, and we're looking at offering, like we did last year, a 4-week summer camp after the 4th of July and to the end of July. So the children will still have some place to come after school during the month of June.
Ms. Henrietta, is the expansion plan like going to this other center or opening up at this other housing units? Would that be with the same staff that you have now? You have enough staff to do all of them?
No, we would be able to move some staff, but we would be looking at hiring new staff. And we applied under the Youth Development Alliance for the R3 United Way grant, and they allot funds for staff if you're expanding your program, but we would need to hire additional staff.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. How about crisis intervention at the hub?
All right. Hi, everyone. So the hub food pantry has been really slow, but that's due to the increase in people receiving increase in SNAP, and also we think that is tied to the stimulus package that everyone has received. And so it's just not only with CUP, it is with food pantries within St. Clair County. And we are meeting, trying to strategize on ways to increase attendance. But I think attendance will increase once the additional SNAP benefits go. That's just another few months, then people will not have, and it's a significant amount of SNAP benefits, which is really good and necessary for the families. We are still doing all crisis intervention services, so funeral and burial, as all of those are still active. We haven't seen a lot of we haven't seen a lot of movement in any of like the appliances. We see an uptick in purchase of beds. We doing a few home repairs, but it's just been really slow for us for the last quarter. We right into housing security. Now that's just been, we've spent a lot of money in utilities and rental assistance, and we just received an extra $35,000 that we need to spend down before June 30th, and that's in rental assistance only. But we could pay up to $3,000 on rental arrears, and has started, that started earlier this week. So that's DHS funding. But this funding also came with case management support and administrative support. So that's why we accepted the funding, because it'll help us cover some of our case management expenses for over the next couple months. We also are waiting. We're going to kick off the new rental program in May, and that's the money that when I needed the board resolution on that for that funding, and that's $45,000, and that will cover us. We will not be doing any case management. It's really outreach and intake, and we will not have be issuing out or paying anybody's rent or you. Our job will only be to go out and inform people about the rental assistance, and then do an intake on it's a web-based intake, and just submit it over, and then the organization that got funding to actually pay out will reach out to the clients. So that goes until December. So that funding extends all the way to December. We are still doing career services, and we are still doing anchors and all of those workshops. The clients from Holy Angels are now coming over to the hub daily from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Those clients are at the hub working on resumes, attending workshops, doing mock interviews, doing one-on-one career coaching. It's happening inside of the hub Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. What else? We just entered into a MOU with Land of Lincoln to provide legal services for our clients. And that's clients across all programs. That's clients at the hub, clients that come through the shelter, and clients that's in out of school time program. So these are direct referrals to attorneys at Land of Lincoln. Our teams met, and we will meet quarterly to just discuss progress and things that we need to improve in this relationship. So all civil, they only handling civil cases. So divorces, landlord-tenant issues, benefits, if anyone needs help obtaining benefits, or if they were denied benefits, but they think they are eligible, so they help with those types of things. So we make a direct referral to Land of Lincoln, and they make the assessment if they are able to assist the clients. So we just kicked that off, and so far they are sending, as we thought, a lot of referrals have been going over to Land of Lincoln for those services. Another partnership that we are working on, and we hope to secure tomorrow, is in a partnership with Employment Connections. Now, that's a nonprofit, a large nonprofit that's located here in St. Louis, but we found out that they have contracts funding that for St. Clair County residents. And so through that funding, we hope that to bring Employment Connection and give them office space at the hub, or in St. Vincent de Paul, that office space, for them to offer their employment services to clients in St. Clair County. The Employment Connection name alone is it's a long-standing organization with a good reputation, and they have a social enterprise. So they have contracts with large hospitals and business. They do their own employment, they are employment service. So clients will have direct access to those jobs. So we are meeting with them tomorrow to hopefully solidify what this relationship will be like. And hopefully July 1st, we will kick off Employment Connection, employment services through Employment Connections. I believe did I cover all my areas?
You want to talk about self-sufficiency at all, or?
So
we touched on it, but
yeah. So I touched. We have the office space, and I spoke on this like in previous board meetings about this office space that St. Vincent de Paul used to rent out, and it's a huge office space. And so Jen will probably her and when she go through development and fundraising, she will talk about a grant that we just submitted to kind of get started in this space. We have 2 grants that we've submitted to begin some beautification of the space and some renovation of the space, and to add more to move the navigation center over into that. But Jen will talk more about that in when she give her report.
So Tony, in the training that you're doing at the hub during the day for the shelter people, who is conducting that training?
So we have a career, we have a career service navigator, Mo Witherspoon. So he's doing the training now. And Mo, he has 13 years of experience doing that, career services. But Mo is part-time, and he recently moved. His commute from St. Louis to there was, before he moved, was about maybe 35 minutes. And then a couple months ago, he moved his family further west, which now puts his commute close to an hour. And so, and he talks about the commute all the time. And with him being part-time, we just thought that it would be better for us to start looking at other ways to provide employment services. He's committed. He says that he's committed to us, but our commute both ways is hard on him.
Well, you know, it's an opportunity, Father Sal would say this, for him to pray and reflect on his spirituality a little longer every day.
So, but Mo is he's doing all of the career services, and the case managers are doing the landlord-tenant relations, good neighbors, utility bill management, and what else? Budgeting, financial fitness courses during the day. And then we offer well-being check-ins, and those are they are non-clinical, but Lewis, our MSW practicum, he holds those meetings with the clients. So the hub is very busy during the day now.
Didn't you say too in governance that this is kind of helping with budgeting, because then you're not, or staffing?
Yeah, so we were having a staffing issue at Holy Angels, with and Angels is a small shelter. It still should be ran every shift with 2 people, and so having Joanna there by herself was just not working. So bringing them over, she has the support of the other case managers that's there, and of course all of us are in the building. So what we were able to do is take those employees that were working Monday through Friday during the day and push their hours back, and so we could have 2 people on each shift. So we are doing our budget planning this year, we're going to look at how do we really consolidate staff and share staff across crisis intervention and housing security programs. And so we have not got into the meat of how that will look, but I've sent Troy a lot of different ways that that could work, and he's giving me the budget pushback on like the budget of it, and so I got to keep chopping it down until I get it right.
Okay, any other questions?
Questions?
Hearing none, we'll go to Jen for development and grants.
Here I am. Sorry, it took a second. So in the area of grants, we are fortunate to have 2 AmeriCorps Vista members. For those of you who may not be aware, Brett Siemens, he's the one that we were able to connect with for a 12-month Vista service that began on February 22nd or so for him. And then we were asked to take over the contract, the 12-month, Vista contract of Sarah Sheehan. So we've had her I'm sorry, we have her through June 10th. So they're working to build the capacity for a robust grants program for the organization, one that builds on what's been going on with Griffin Center for a while, but also now that we're moving more in a direction where we're positioning everything, as a program rather than as a service, there are more opportunities to pitch everything, as a program that's fundable with grants. So some of the most recent ones that we have applied for that are pretty substantial. One was for the Bank of America Charitable Foundation, and we'll find out about that one on June 18th. But that one is a $40,000 ask, and it has to do with the career services area. That's one of their focus areas. So to do some renovation of the space, like Tony mentioned, funding career services staff, as well as some technology and the remodeling of the space. We've since February, we've taken on 6 new grants. The most recent one we submitted was a racial healing and justice grant that is through Forward Through Ferguson. And so we submitted that proposal just last week. And they're very much, which seems to be rare to me in the grants world, they're very much interested in funding creative projects. How the arts can be used to, be a platform for racial healing and justice. So we submitted a proposal for a documentary / case study to capture the voice of residents in East St. Louis on the topic of what does self-sufficiency mean to you as a member of this community? What do you see as barriers to self-sufficiency that you or your fellow East St. Louis residents that are experiencing the effects of poverty? What do you see as those barriers? And so to kind of have this real on the ground documentary experience that's also serves as that platform, that community case study on the issue of self-sufficiency and barriers to it. And then what is said by the community would inform the creation of the center and also lead to the creation of a mural, a large mural on the wall of the center. So just to capture that community voice on the issue. And that's something that is very important to a lot of funders, not just this one, that, how are you engaging community voice? So that's also a $40,000 ask. We will find out on May 2nd if Tony gets invited to have an interview with the board. So that's supported by a lot of places like the Deaconess Foundation. Other corporations are involved with, providing funds and sort of that administrative back end, but the decision rests within the board of that foundation. 2 of those board members are East St. Louis residents. Others are from various parts of the city of St. Louis, but they are looking for organizations that the work aligns with addressing issues of racial healing and justice. And so through the research that Diane and the Vistas and others have helped us do, we're able to position the part of the story of the history of East St. Louis as it relates to the things that need healing with, racial, the racial injustices, the tensions, the riot, the whole, the whole context of East St. Louis. We were able, well, not the whole, obviously, because we summarized, but we were able to position the need for racial healing and justice based on how a lot of the things that happened in the history still impact life today for residents. So that was very long-winded. I apologize, but it's an exciting funding opportunity for sure. But with the Vistas, we're building the strategy now for the grants program, now that they've gotten their feet wet and written a few grants, learned about the history of East St. Louis, had their one-on-ones with several staff members, and we hope to really maximize the VISTA program, which is for capacity building opportunities within poverty services organizations. And we're fortunate to have 2 full-time people for a total cost to the agency of $4,500 for the year.
And we do have applications, opportunity to get 8. Is it 8, Jen?
Oh yeah, I mean,
As
you're talking about
part-time?
this, oh, no. 2 over the summer for 8 weeks for the Client Choice Food Pantry. I thought what you were saying was, I think once you're with Vista, if your organization can see a reason to add them to build capacity in other areas, then you have opportunities to add more. But they do have the summertime Vista program, which is 8 weeks of service. We don't have to pay anything for that. That's free. We just have to find people.
Did you say that we got that grant that we did the resolution for, or no? Did I make that up?
Yeah, we got that grant.
Oh.
We did this. It was a difficult grant, and it's really confusing. And we had to submit a lot of legal documents. It was a lot of different things that we haven't had to submit before, even like with the board resolution, the board bylaws, adding that. And but we are a recipient of those funds.
Anything else on development, Jen?
No, hopefully you all got your spring newsletter in the mail. Those went out as the sort of the second ask that CUP is known to do, but with the intention of it being more informative, more of an update on the goings on and sort of the future, focused vision. So yeah, those are the main, grants in the newsletter and things like that have been the main focus as of late. So.
Well, the newsletter was very well done, and I was very impressed with those QR codes. They're really high tech.
Okay, what about Troy for finance?
Okay, did everybody get my email that I sent out? I kind of just sent it out late. I kind of did it today, but let me see if I can bring it up and hopefully share my screen. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, come on. Okay. Okay, I tried to do this in a format that was similar to what John usually does. So let me see if I can do this. I've never tried to share my screen while I've been in a browser or something. Hold on.
Hey, Troy, if we have the documents you sent out, do you need to share them still on the screen?
No, it wouldn't necessarily. If people have already looked at it, I mean, it's just, overall we're doing okay. It's, I mean, there's in some areas, the revenue is normal. So where we've reduced, expenses from, Griffin Center is just, I mean, they're just picking up, a lot more of their payroll numbers now that after, basically taking, what was it? Was it the month of February or January? I'm trying to.
January.
Okay, January. Basically, they took, we're off, and so we'd only had, basically minimal payroll for them. So, I mean, what's not in these would be basically the first returns of the spring mailing. Whoever sent back remittance envelopes. I mean, it's not expected always to be a gigantic amount for the Easter spring appeal. It's, you know, what I've been seeing on days whenever we actually get remit envelopes, because Tuesday, they, you know, mail services usually doesn't deliver a lot. We've been getting about, you know, 8 to 10 envelopes at least a day. And, you know, that's pretty consistent with what I've seen in the past.
Troy,
Yes.
I was wondering about the crisis intervention operations. The expenses seem to be quite a bit over what was budgeted.
Yeah, I can explain that. With the operations, a lot of that is the added expense of, with St. Vincent de Paul being gone, all the utilities and security costs and everything of those suites just fell on us all at once. So that's why it went so high, because we've basically been paying since last October or sometime last fall. We've been paying all those utilities and covering all that stuff through today. So that's pretty much it.
Okay, and what about the data processing?
That's a lot of it was the advancement of the, I believe, of the Apricot system. We were adding on new features that would be different things like that. That would be helpful. I think it was, I don't know if we would be able to integrate and be able to import things. I don't know if it was from HMIS.
Yeah.
Things like that. So yeah, we were spending some more money on that, and and the thing is, if we spent, I think the deal was if we spent or agreed to an early contract or something, that we'd get a discount later on, kind of thing. I don't remember exactly what the deal was.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And is there a reason that the shelter doesn't put advanced money in the payroll account like the other two programs are?
That's kind of a hangover from whenever Griffin had separate records. With that. That's kind of a leftover, because the auditors eventually had made me make an adjustment on Griffin's books, and whenever I integrated them all into one, it still stuck out there. So I'm going to actually ask them, for their advice on whether or not I should just get rid of that, or if it, and integrate it in, or if I should keep it separate for purposes of that.
Okay. And I also noticed at Griffin you had the CSMA as a separate one. Where does it show the rest of CUP's money from the CSMA?
Okay. And I'll admit, I was just going by John's last construct, and that's how he separated it out. I think I think John did that because I think on Griffin there weren't as many options, and I think CUP had a whole lot of options. So in CUP, the CSMA's under grants, in the grants line.
And the grants. Okay, good. Not this is no critical. I'm just interested in understanding. Thank you so much.
It's just one of those things where if John had done it in the past, I just wanted to try to stay in some consistency with that. Not that I knew if anybody would remember that. But.
Sure. No, I just knew it looking at all of them. I'm just used to having looked at Griffin, and that was it. But thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And then Troy, it looks like you have the PPP. Is that the forgiveness amounts?
Yes, those are the forgiveness amounts. I broke out the one lump sum into the different programs.
Well, that was certainly a blessing.
Yeah, definitely. Between that and the bequest, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody else have any questions for Troy? Or Troy, do you have anything else to point out?
No, I'm just wanted to mention that, I know with, I actually, the first time I'd gotten a contact from John recently was just today, right before the meeting, because I don't know if he got, wasn't able to get on after that, because I know originally he was looking for the invite and whatnot. So I don't know what's happening with that. But I know during tax season, it's always hard for the finance committee to meet, but I can guarantee that next month we will meet, because we have to approve at least a preliminary budget to send to the board. So.
Did he change his email address or anything? Is it
no?
Okay.
No. it's just, I guess it's just tax season and he's just
Sure.
overwhelmed.
I understand. Okay. All right, I guess we will move on to committee reports. As far as governance is concerned, we are going to be planning what would normally be called an orientation, but we'd like the entire board to participate in it. So we're going to call it a renewal, so that we understand, where CUP has come from, where we kind of are right now, and then where we're headed. So those kind of, I told Tony today, I feel like I really understood like Griffin, Holy Angels, and now we're kind of calling them different things, and they all kind of fit differently. And so just so that we're all kind of on the same page and know what we're working towards. So we are going to look at some dates. Are people available during the day or not during the week? Yes, no.
Yes, I am.
No, I'm not.
Okay. John's not, Vera's not. Okay. So we would like a couple hour time frame. So we could maybe do it in the evening or on the weekends. So we'll put a poll out and see what people are available for. And then the other thing, this came up today, that we're gonna put together a letter for the bishop to like kind of understand who all the board members are, because he transitioned and we transitioned and all of that stuff. So we're gonna send out a little form for you to fill out about yourself, just a little bio about who you are, so that he kind of has a perspective of what our board is made up of. So Jen, did you say you were gonna do that, or you want me to do that?
I would be glad to.
Okay, perfect. So Jen will be sending that out. So keep an eye on your inbox for that. And that's about it from the governance committee for right now. We do have some details to hammer out now that the diocese is like interested in us and being involved. So we're going to talk about that at the next governance meeting, and work with the diocese folks to figure out we don't have a problem with either way. We just want to know what it's going to look like and how it procedurally will work. So that's our plan for there. And Troy, you said finance didn't meet?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Fundraising didn't meet, but Jen, do you want to talk about anything there?
No, I guess I would say we are going to be, and I think it was Diane and Mike that graciously offered to help us think about strategies for recruiting volunteers. We will need to recruit, I believe, 8 additional front desk volunteers. And once we learn more about how the Client Choice Food Pantry is going to work and also the demand for the pantry, we will probably need to recruit a heavy amount of pantry volunteers, because there's more opportunities for service and interaction in the Client Choice model than there is in the current model we use. So we're going to start with the front desk recruitment, and then just kind of make sure we're really thinking through the pantry part and understanding the need there. So yeah, I think we want to go with the low-hanging fruit of our wonderful Catholic parish members, and then we also want to make sure that we're getting the word out to those who may want to engage, who aren't part of the Catholic community. So
Have we gotten any responses from the messenger ads?
we have not gotten any from the messenger ad. Speaking of the messenger, they were nice enough to run a story for us in their latest issue, which was nice. I have one person who's kind of really interested now, but he has to figure. It's Mr. Arndt. I don't know if anybody knows him. Yeah.
And what do those shifts look like, Jen?
So those would be the front desk is, it's a Monday through Friday thing that we need help with, and those would be 9 to noon, and then 1 to 4, Monday through Friday. And then with the pantry, it should still be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the 9 to noon and 1 to 3. And Tony, is there any thoughts about changing the hours with Client Choice?
No. it would still be that.
Yeah. But there's some idea of you have someone doing check-in and you have, a couple of shopping assistants and, then the person stocking the shelves. So it could very well be that, there'd be a need for 3 or 4 per of the 6 shifts. So yeah. We're looking at recruiting a lot of new folks that want to give of their daytime to support our mission. So
Great. We also talked today about trying to go ahead with the golf tournament. So we're going to get with Kevin on getting that planned. We're a couple months ahead of where we were the first time, so hopefully we're in even better shape. And so there will be more information coming with that. I heard programs had a great meeting.
Well, we had, since the last time we met, we've been doing some orientation with our subcommittees. And so Tony's put that together and talked about the new program structure. We first of all, we had 5 subcommittees and 3 of them we have had the orientation with. That's the crisis intervention at the hub, the self-sufficiency center, which is still in the planning stages, and the social justice through Hubbard House. And so between now and the next time we meet, we'll be doing the housing security, which is Holy Angels, and out of school time, which is Griffin Center. But basically trying to help the subcommittees understand the alignment with the one mission from CUP and the whole purpose and need for community partnerships, and a description then about the subcommittees, the roles and responsibilities. So between now and the next time we meet, we'll finish up those orientations, and we'll also have subcommittee meetings to report back, and I'll have that information then at that time too.
Okay, and that just leaves our executive director's report.
All right. So we are moving along with our organizational strategic goals. We have several for this that's wrapping up, that will continue, but we've been working on for this current fiscal year, and that's organizational structure, strategic data analysis. We have volunteer management and onboarding, strategic communication, succession planning, and continuous improvement. And then we have program, mission, and alignment. Those are the strategic goals that we are currently working with also charitable services on. In all of those areas, we have significant movement and progress on. And just to go to, I know one of the goals that the board has set was succession planning. So we have completed the succession planning interview with Sister Julia, she's the business manager at Griffin, as we all know, but she also has a social work role as well. So we have also have completed her interview and documenting all of her work as the business manager. And we have a job description for that business manager in draft form. They are currently now have moved to Troy's position, the CFO position, and they are working on documenting all of his areas of his work. And but we already have a CFO job description, and from that information they gather, then we will update that. We have several other positions that we will be looking at doing succession plans on, and that will probably take us through the next into the next fiscal year. So all key positions will have a succession plan, and that includes my role, Jen's role, Henrietta's, the social work, Sister Bet's, site directors, any key role at CUP will have a succession plan at the end of this strategic goal. So we let me get Jen updated everyone on all of the grants that we've been writing. I have one that's due that I need to complete and submit by Monday. And so I pretty much handle all of the government grants with support from Jen and Troy. But so we've been just trying to hammer out as many grants as we can, especially as we move into the self-sufficiency center. We do not want to divert any current funding to that project. We want to make sure that we are going after grants in order to renovate the space and in order to provide the service, or we need to partner, have community partners come in and help us with the work of self-sufficiency, so we are not duplicating services and we don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's why partnerships like Employment Connections is key to helping our clients become self-sufficient. So those are the types of partnerships that we are trying to create to help us in this work. So with that, with the Self-Sufficiency Center, it's a large space, so we do have opportunities to rent out office space to kind of recoup some of that money that we lost with when St. Vincent de Paul left. So we are currently in conversations with Parents United for Change, which is an East St. Louis organization that works to empower families to advocate for themselves, and with United Churches of Metro East. So both of these organizations are interested in renting office space. We do believe that we have enough room for to rent space to both of those organizations, but that won't take place until the next fiscal year. We have been, and it comes right in time because we will have to do a lease agreement for shared space. So I'm going to be working with Cushman and Wakefield, and this is through United Way, and they will be helping me draft those shared lease agreements with these two organizations if it comes down to us renting out the space to them. So that will help with some of those expenses. We have, lastly, I want to share just the update about how a connection to the mission. And so we had a client that was at Holy Angels, and her name is Miss Pat. And Miss Pat, I've been at CUP for 3 years, and I know in my time, Miss Pat has been at Holy Angels 6 times. Miss Pat is what you call chronic homeless. She has some mental illness. She has some substance use problems, and she's been homeless on and off for over 10 years. And so Miss Pat returned to us a couple months ago, and we were finally able to place Miss Pat in her own place. And so self-sufficiency will look different for everyone, but we were able. What we learned about Miss Pat is that she's afraid to live alone, that's why one of the reasons she kept coming back into the shelter, because she likes that community living. And so we were able to find her a place in a community living environment, and with a rent that she could afford. And through the anchor support, we were able to help pay up some of her rent, which she doesn't know that we did that. So Ms. Pat did pay her $300 in rent on April 1st, which was really good. And so providing her with some aftercare will be significant because of her history with returning to homelessness. So that's just, you know, a story of connecting you to like what we do and why we do it, and how significant our services are, and never to give up on people, because at some point in life they will make the choice to change. And even the story about Miss Pat, even through she has her reading level is probably like second grade, and so she is now taking reading classes at Our Brother's Keepers, and the goal is to get her to a 6th grade level. And so Miss Pat, when she didn't have money, she will walk to Our Brother's Keepers from Holy Angels, and we didn't know she was doing that, but that's just how committed she is to her reading goals. And so even after 10 years, at some point, you know, people change, and Miss Pat is changing, and she's making different choices. And so I just wanted to share that out with the board. And the last thing is, how can the board help us? We are in need of volunteers, and it's volunteers are significant to our work and to our budget. And so we are looking at how does this impact our budget if we don't get volunteers to come and do the front desk or work the pantry. We will have to have staff in those roles, so it'll impact our budget significantly. So you can help with getting the word out, help with, you know, recruitment of volunteers, because we really need it at this time. And so we don't have to look to staff to do those things, and that's not an added line item to our budget, because it never has been. And so we want to continue to have this volunteer support at doing those duties. So we need your help with getting the word out. We need your help with STL. And so if you have any questions, just contact us and send people our way. Thank you.
Okay, does anybody else have anything for the good of the cause here tonight?
I just have a suggestion for Tony. Is it possible to make some kind of little graphic or some kind of announcement about looking for volunteers and the phone number to call? That if you send that out to all of us, then we can share it on our pages. Because the people who are going to look at most of the social media platforms that most of us have are going to be people who have time to go volunteer. And it would be a good idea if they just had a simple little graphic, a simple little post saying we need volunteers for this. This is the number, and we can share it for you.
Yeah, we could do that. We could send that out to you.
Great idea, Sal. Thanks. Anything else? Okay, I'll officially adjourn my first meeting at 7:20. Everyone, enjoy your evening, and thanks for attending.
You did great.
Congratulations to President, Madam.
Oh, right.
Madam President.
Thanks, Becca.
Yeah.
You had nowhere to go but up.
Have a good night, everybody.
You too. God bless.
Good night.
Father Sal,
Yes.
Father Sal, there's a link in the chat the volunteer for what you asked about, and we would be very grateful if you would share it.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Jen, how do you get that then? How do you, I can't find my chat in this.
Oh, well, I'll send it. You're on Facebook, Diane, yes?
Yes, I do, yes.
I'll add you as a friend. How about that?
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you. You guys have a good night. Bye-bye.